New Yankee Workshop. One of the most versatile tools in the workshop is the router. Today I'm going to build a bathroom vanity with classic raised panel doors. To make those doors, I'm going to use nothing more than the router and some special router bits. I'll show you how next, right here on the New Yankee Workshop.
The New Yankee Workshop features the craftsmanship of Norm Abram.
I don't know if you've been out shopping for bathroom vanities recently, but if you have, you realize that there's a lot of different options. Now let me show you what's going on in this new house. In this bathroom, the homeowner has chosen a semi-custom design. And by semi-custom, what I mean is that it's made up of stock components. Here's one unit with a couple doors, and you can see the seam right here. That joins a stock drawer unit. There's a seam right here, and a filler strip was added to give the overall dimension that was desired. Now, it is a good cabinet, but one of the problems with stock vanities is that they're a little bit too low, only 30.5 inches. Now, the other problem is that not including the countertop, this cabinet is over $700. So over in the other bathroom across the hall, we're going to do something a little different. There are some considerations that we have to take into account. There's a toilet, and I need space for that. So it looks like about a 3-foot vanity will be the right length. The door casing is wide, and it gives us a narrow space here. So we can't have much more than a 21.5-inch cabinet. So with that taken into account, besides the fact that we'd like to build it 32.5 inches high, I think we can go to the shop, get every custom feature we want for a lot less than $700. Here's a sample of the door that I want to use on the vanity. It's a raised panel door with a bead around the edge of the rails and stiles. Now, if you were building this door in a full-size cabinet shop, you would use a shaper. But here at the New Yankee Workshop, we've raised panels using the table saw, and we have a molding head cutter which will fit on the radial arm to raise the panel. When I made this door, I tried something new. Recently, router bit manufacturers have come up with sets of router bits. This one raises the panel. These two make the joint between the rails and stiles. This makes a glue joint for joining boards to make the panels, and if you had a drawer, you would use this for the lock joint. I'm really quite impressed with the results, and in some ways it's actually easier than setting up a shaper. Now, even though my vanity is a semi-custom design, the techniques for any vanity are universal. So if you happen to be thinking about building a vanity for your house, a measure drawing will be available, and you'll hear more about that before the program ends. Now let's get started today by building the carcass. Now I didn't have to purchase any plywood to build this vanity. I had enough scrap stock left over from previous projects. I'm going to use this piece of 3/4-inch birch plywood to make the side of the vanity that you don't see. It goes up against the wall. And I'll rip it a little bit oversized. Before we get started, though, I want to take a moment to talk about shop safety. Be sure to read, understand, and follow all the safety rules that come with your power tools. Knowing how to use your power tools properly will greatly reduce the risk of personal injury. And remember this, there is no more important safety rule than to wear these safety glasses. Okay, now, this edge, which was in the plywood rack, may be dinged from storage, so I want to rip it to the correct width by taking material off that side. The measurement I want is 20 7/8. This piece of 3/4-inch birch is going to be for the bottom of the carcass. To cross-cut the panels, I'm going to use my homemade panel cutter. It rides in the miter slot of the table saw, and it gives me a very accurate and square cross-cut.
HGTV's Before and Afters on the job site with another amazing remodeling project this week. An ordinary house sitting on an extraordinary lot. See how the owners designed their remodel to take advantage of these spectacular lakefront views. It's a sight you don't want to miss. Before and After, Sunday night at 8 on HGTV.
Home, where the family gathers around the dinner table. Where the yard may become a ball field at a moment's notice. Where you spend hours in the sunshine planting flowers, or in the shade resting in the hammock, where the birds become your neighbors, and your neighbors become your friends. Your home deserves the best. Pen-coated lawn seed from Pennington. A lifetime of experience goes into every beautiful lawn.
Get in the swing with HGTV Spring Break 99. Saturday morning at 9 Eastern, join Pat Simpson and Jody Marks for the Fix It Up Spring Special. See how to build charming window boxes and a picket fence. Plus, quick fix tips. Don't miss the Fix It Up Spring Special, part of HGTV Spring Break 99. Saturday at 9 Eastern on HGTV. Imagine what you can do.
Next, I want to cut a couple dados in the side panels to receive the bottom. So I've set up my stacked dado head cutter for 3/8 of an inch depth, and the width equals the thickness of the plywood for the bottom. All right, now I've added this accessory fence, which clamps onto my existing rib fence. It has a cutout in it, which allows me to make rabbet joints with the dado head cutter and not have the blades hit the rib fence. I've set it up to make a 3/8 rabbet in the end panels to receive the plywood back. Now, you might have noticed that I moved the rib fence over to give me a wider rabbet on the cherry panel. I'll show you what that's for later. Now, here on the end panel, I've laid out for the cutout for the toe kick. I'll cut most of it out with my little circular saw and clean up the rest with a hand saw. Now, this 3-inch wide piece of pine will go at the top back corner of each side, and I'll use this cleat to secure the vanity to the wall. I'm joining the cleat to the side with a biscuit. I'm also using some biscuits to join this piece of cherry plywood at the top front of the vanity, and that'll conceal the bowl when the doors are open. Now, with some glue and clamps, we'll assemble the carcass. Now, the back of the vanity is just a piece of 1/4-inch plywood, and I glue it and attach it with some brads. And over here where the cherry panel is, this is where the rabbet is a little bit deeper than I made earlier. The reason for that is I wanted some extra wood, so if the wall is not quite plumb, I can scribe it. Now, these pieces are going to make up the face frame. There are 2 stiles and 2 rails, and I'm going to join them together with biscuits. So let's see if it's square. This diagonal is 45 1/8. This one is just under 45 1/16. So I'll show you how to fix that. Across the longest dimension, we'll put a clamp. We'll just rack it a little bit. And we'll check this one. It should be just a little under 45 1/8. That is good. So we'll let it dry.
Want to really enjoy the great outdoors? Then get rid of all that old stuff, because Lowe's knows how to help. We're your Weber Grill headquarters, with terrific Weber grills for every budget and every appetite.
Lowe's has a huge selection of top-quality patio furniture, too.
All at guaranteed everyday low prices.
So now that the outside's done, you can work on the rest of the house.
When it comes to outdoor living, Lowe's knows.
Lowe's, proud sponsor of 1999 Special Olympics World Games. rocky ridge in Bohemia stands an imposing castle, surrounded by a labyrinth of streets. Luckily, there's the agile and durable all-new Chevy Tracker. If it can conquer the ragged cobbled hills of this medieval town, it can tackle any gravel road back home. If you know where the Tracker is, you could win it. For more Tracker information or to enter, click here. The all-new Chevy Tracker. It gets around.
Dogs have an uncanny sense of hearing, but they can't tell you if running, climbing, or even walking hurts or makes them stiff. So it's up to you. To help keep your dog active and healthy, ask your veterinarian how Rimadyl has relieved arthritis pain for more than 500,000 dogs. As with other pain relievers in this class, digestive and liver side effects may occur. Available by prescription only.
Get the stick, Rascal! It's gotta be the puppy chow.
We reformulated new Purina Puppy Chow to help provide the building blocks growing puppies need for a long, strong, and exceptional life. Purina Puppy Chow brand. With over 800 tax law changes, doing your own taxes can be a nightmare.
Hey.
Hi, Bill from H&R Block.
What are you doing in my dream?
Well, it's tax time. Trying to save you some anxiety.
Thanks.
H&R Block. We know. Do you?
Forecast mostly sunny skies.
In nature, all waste is recycled, and it's this process that led to the development of Envirolet, the world's finest composting toilet systems. Using patented automatic aeration, Envirolet efficiently reduces and recycles waste into garden soil. Simple to use, totally sanitary, and odor-free. Envirolet composting toilet systems offer you a better economical and environmental solution. Envirolet is your year-round answer for cottage or home and many other applications. Available in waterless and low-water models, and your choice of non-electric 12-volt battery or energy-efficient 110-volt electric. Call for your free video and information kit on our complete Envirolet line. Waterless self-contained, waterless remote, and low-water remote systems. Envirolet meets or exceeds product and performance standards and is backed by a lifetime warranty and toll-free nationwide customer support. Call for your free video and information kit and discover Envirolet composting toilet systems today.
Now these two pieces of cherry will be joined together to form the raised panel. The advantage of this joint, even over biscuits, is that it aligns the boards along the entire length, and it gives a lot of glue surface area. These 4 pieces of cherry will make the frame that surrounds the panel. I've changed the bit in the router shaper to one that'll give me this profile. I have to run the inside edges on all 4 pieces. Once again, I've changed router bits. This time a bit that'll make the cope cut, which is this one. And that allows the rails to fit into the stiles. Now, making that cut, I'm going to be going against the grain, which is tough on the cutters and on the machine. And there's always a chance of some tear out. So I ran a piece of scrap to back up the piece. And we'll just slip that together. And I want to make sure that the face of the rail is down. And using my miter gauge, which has clamps, I'll secure the pieces before I run them through. Okay, that cope gives me the intersection of the rail and stile right here. And that fits pretty well. Now with the same setup, I want to do this rail on this end. Okay, that's the first 2 copes. Now I want to cope this end and this end. And there's a little trick to that. The tear out is going to want to occur on the flat edge this time, so I just use square stock to back it up. Here's the blank for the panel. I sanded the joint smooth and cut it to the right dimensions. I've changed the bit in the router shaper to the panel raising bit. Because I have to remove so much material, we'll make about 3 passes. All right, we'll raise the cutter up just a bit to remove a little more wood. I'm really impressed with the performance of this bit. It gives a nice smooth cut. Now you notice that I run the end grain first, because if there's any tear out, it'll be removed when I run the pass parallel to the grain. All right, let's try that. Yeah, that fits pretty well. Let's glue it up. All right, now even though there's plenty of glue in the joints where the stile meets the rail, there will be no glue at all on the panel. I want that to float so it'll move as it expands and contracts with humidity. You know, it amazes me that in the old days, raised panel doors like this were made all by hand. The boards would be hand planed to thickness. The panel raising would be done by hand, even the details like the coat. Okay, well, we'll set this door in the clamps overnight, and tomorrow we'll be able to finish this project easily.
Order a home video of the project you've just seen Norm build, complete with a measure drawing and materials list. Call toll-free 1-800-892-0110. The price is $24.95 plus shipping and handling. Get the measure drawing alone for only $10. The number again is 1-800-892-0110.
There comes a point when one more sequin will ruin the dress. When one more note will topple the sonata. When one more brushstroke will spoil the painting. There comes a point when anything more is simply more. Park Avenue by Buick. Power, comfort, unparalleled elegance. It's luxury, pure and simple.
I know what you're thinking. 10-10 this and 10-10 that. You got tens and tens coming out of your ears. You're confused. I understand that. I'm confused. Well, here's a number that can actually clear things up. 1010 ATT00. It's for directory assistance. They can help you find any number in America, even if you're a little confused.
1010 ATT00. For directory assistance, it's the only number you need to know.
Now I'm confused again. Because why?
When it came to computers, I was so far behind the times, I thought I'd never learn to use one. So when Video Professor said they could teach me to run a computer in an hour, well, to say the least, I was a bit skeptical. So to prove it, they sent me this free computer CD-ROM. It's simple. You take the CD, put it in the tray, click, and the video starts playing right here on my computer screen. Hey, I'm learning the computer. And so can you. Just give Video Professor a call for more free CD-ROM or video. Choose from Video Professor's most popular computer lessons. It's a $39.95 value, and it's free. Me in computer school? I don't think so. And computer training manuals may as well be written in Greek. I now can use my computer thanks to Video Professor. Call the 800 number for your free computer learning CD-ROM or video. You have nothing to lose. Video Professor makes computer learning simple, fast, and it's free. Why are you waiting? Go ahead. Give him a call.
Gateway talks to 50,000 people a day. We've learned that you need a PC that lets you be who you want to be. Call, click, or come in. Get a Gateway Performance PC with an Intel Pentium 3 processor, and we'll give you a year on the internet.
Well, good morning. I got started today by sanding the face of all my doors nice and smooth at the joints, and the doors turned out pretty well. Now I'm rounding over 3 edges on each door using a 3/8" roundover bit. I don't want to round the stile where the 2 doors meet in the center because there's no center stile on the cabinet. The hinges that I'm using on my doors require a 3/8 by 3/8 rabbet. To make that rabbet, I've set up the rabbeting bit in my router table, and I'll run 3 edges of each door. Now for the toe kick, which is a piece of solid cherry. On the panel that's going to go up against the plaster wall, the toe kick will just sit on the cutout, covering the end grain of the plywood. But on the other end, if I lap it over the cutout to cover the end grain, I get end grain at the edge of the toe kick. So I'm going to drop it inside onto a cleat that I've installed, and then cover the end grain with a thin piece of solid cherry. I'll just glue and nail these pieces in place. Now the face frame is joined to the carcass with just glue and biscuits. Oh, here's a blank for my countertop. I picked it up at my local home center, and it's known as solid surfacing material. The color goes all the way through. It comes in about 20 different colors. Now, the first thing I want to do is rip it to width. And I can work with this material just with ordinary woodworking tools. Now, I've turned the countertop blank upside down and raised it up on some blocks of wood and taken some pieces that I've ripped, which I'm going to put around the edge to make it look like it's 1 inch thick. I've also put an outline of my sink area, so I'll know where to put adhesive, because I'm going to build that up so that when it's cut out, it'll appear to be 1 inch thick. I've sanded all the surfaces and cleaned them with alcohol according to the directions from the manufacturer, and the manufacturer supplies an adhesive which is color matched to the solid surface material. Now all I have to do is put a seam down the edge of the adhesive and clamp it in place and let it dry for 45 minutes before I can machine it. All right, now they call for clamps, spring clamps, about every 2 or 3 inches to hold the pieces together. Here in the middle, I'm going to use one big piece to double it up rather than use smaller pieces to piece it in. Now, this square piece, you'll notice I drilled a couple holes in the center, and that's to let the air out as I squeeze the two pieces together so there's no voids. Now, once the adhesive has dried, I put a straight edge clamp over the work, and using my router with a straight cutting bit, I can trim off the excess material. Well, now I'm getting ready to cut out the hole for my sink. The sink is going to mount underneath, so I want a nice, clean edge all the way around because it's going to show. So I'm still using the straight cutter in my router, but now I've installed a collar, which will actually follow the edge of the template. On the two edges that show, I want to route a decorative edge. And for that, I'm using a bit that the manufacturer calls a wavy edge bit. The final routing operation is to put a 1/4 inch roundover on the bottom edge of the side and the front, and also at the top and the bottom of the cutout for the bowl. That's going to fit fine. The top is ready for the plumber, and the base ready for the finishing shop. For a finish on my vanity, I'm starting with a dark brown stain. Once it sets for a couple minutes, I'll wipe off any excess, and when it's completely dry, I'll put on a coat of polyurethane. I'll repeat the process a couple times, and then I'll be ready to put the vanity to use. Well, that's the first set of raised panel doors I've made with a router, and it won't be the last. With the coats of polyurethane applied, this vanity is ready to be installed.